Prime Minister Modi addressed the Australian Parliament this morning, becoming the first Indian Prime Minister to do so. Modi said Australia was central to stability in the Asia-Pacific region, selling India as the next big business destination. Modi said Australia could benefit immensely from the opportunities that India has to provide. Before his address, Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott welcomed the Indian Prime Minister, describing him as a man who brings with him a promise of change.
I would like to begin by our shared challenges extend beyond our region. Terrorism has become a major threat for us all. In India, we have seen its face closely for 3 decades, and we see it with the clarity that comes with it. Terrorism is changing in character and expanding in its reach. Internet has made recruitment and call to violence self-generated. It also feeds off money laundering, drug trafficking, and arms smuggling. We have to deepen our bilateral security cooperation, but we need a comprehensive global strategy. Since my government entered office, no region has seen more intense engagement on India's part than the Asia-Pacific region, because we understand how deeply our future is linked to this region. India and Australia can play cricket hard with each other, and I suspect we will next month. But we see Australia as one of our foremost partners in the region. I was pleased to host Prime Minister Tony Abbott as my first state guest in September.
Before his address in Parliament, Prime Minister Modi held bilateral talks with Tony Abbott in Canberra. The two leaders signed a series of pacts on social security, transfer of sentenced prisoners, combating narcotics, trafficking and developing police cooperation, along with cooperation in the field of arts and culture and tourism. Modi asked for easier access for Indian businessmen in Australia. Prime Minister Modi also expressed his eagerness for India-Australia to finalize a nuclear deal to facilitate the import of uranium to India.
Next priority for Australia is a comprehensive economic partnership agreement with India. If I may say so, this is a moment in time. This is the time to get this done. This is the time to turn the warm friendship between Australia and India, the long history that Australia and India have together, into something that will be meaningful, more meaningful for us and significant for the wider world.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Canberra this morning, where he also paid a visit to the War Memorial. These are pictures we're getting you, in fact, of the War Memorial. Following this, Prime Minister Modi made an address before a joint session of the Australian Parliament. Modi has become the first Indian Prime Minister to do so, and only the third international leader apart from Xi Jinping and David Cameron. Let's get a word from Shweta Singh, who's with us live from Canberra this morning. Good morning, Shweta. How is Australia receiving Prime Minister Modi's speech?
Well, it's afternoon here, Simi, but the media is quite giving the coverage that's due to Mr. Modi. The Sydney Morning Herald has Modi's picture on the front page, and while Narendra Modi was addressing the Parliament in Canberra, almost all national television networks were cutting live to him. They had a panel of guests who were discussing what Narendra Modi was saying, and the particular thing that won over hearts was when Narendra Modi said that Australia had been will not be in the periphery of our vision, but in the center of our thoughts. And he said that it has been 28 years since an Indian Prime Minister came here, but it will never be so, Simi.
Absolutely, Shweta, and Prime Minister Modi also asking for fast tracking of the nuclear deal between India and Australia.
Right, and he's also spoken about clean energy and the importance of Australia when we talk about that. See, Simi, apart from cricket and cinema, one thing that Australia meant to all Indians was uranium. That deal happened quite some time back before this bilateral meeting could take place in the sidelines of the G20 summit. Now, what Narendra Modi has done is take it one step ahead and also talk about the possibility of clean energy coming from Australia to India. We've all known what Australia would mean to us when we talk about coal and stuff. And Narendra Modi, while addressing the parliament, has taken this all up and spelt it out what Australia would mean for India and India to Australia.
Shweta, thanks so much for that update. We're going to keep coming back to you for more. Focus this morning is on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address before the Australian Parliament. Modi has become